This was a topic that I was discussing with some friends recently, and I thought that would make for a really good video game because this would go and spur additional conversations amongst everybody on YouTube. And that's, when is a video game company beyond redemption? When are they beyond saving in the fans' eyes? When do fans turn their back for good and just completely walk away and sever those ties? Those ties that, those were bonds that were once extremely strong and unbreakable due to all of the things that were released and made the person love that company so much. But over the course of time, over the different fucked up things that may have occurred, those bonds diminish, break down, and just go away altogether as if they were never there to begin with. No more links, no more caring, no more fan. Now, I've ranted about plenty of video game companies out there ever since I started this channel. I've talked about the likes of Electronic Arts. I've talked about Activision. I've talked about Konami. I've talked about Sega. I've talked about Capcom. I've talked about so many different companies that do stupid shit, and I can't understand for the life of me why, because it just seems like common sense not to do, say, or just think of any of these fucking things, let alone go through with them and execute them as, this is the best course of action, let's fuck ourselves. And they're like, alright, we can get an entire fucking fleet of Greyhound buses right in there, and they just goatsy their fucking asshole and drive on in. I can't understand it, but I've seen certain companies go and, well, kind of come back from that. I've seen Capcom do a complete 180. If you asked me in, 2011, 2012, hey, what do you think of Capcom? I'd say they're completely out of their fucking mind. How do you go from being one of the most profitable and prosperous third-party video game developers and publishers in the entire fucking world to being absolutely fucking garbage? But, slowly but surely, they listened to fans, and they got their shit together. They started releasing more AAA titles. They started doing smart things. Not all this on-disc DLC bullshit. Not all these microtransactions. Not blaming the fans for things. Actually coming forward and listening to fans, asking for input, and just doing what they need to do. Do they still have a journey ahead of them in terms of redeeming themselves in the eyes of all of their fans, or even some still ex-fans? Yeah, definitely. But that's not to say that they haven't earned back the respect and the love of many fans out there. I can say that they've earned it back with me. I still feel that they've got unfinished business to do, but they're just a prime example, and one of many, that I think has done a really good job of just kind of turning it around, instead of being like Konami. Konami is the thing that surprised me most, because it seemed so quick, out of nowhere, and so bad. So it just, holy shit. Out of all the companies, I feel that they've gone the worst because their CEO does not give a shit about gaming, and they've made it absolutely obvious that they do not respect the people that work for them and the people that made them into something. That's fans, that's developers. They could give a shit less. They don't care about any of the properties that they own. They could give a shit less about those IPs. Pachinko! All these outside endeavors that have nothing to do with gaming, well, we're a lot more into this because all that profit, and it's even worse to see a company treat its fans and its staff like shit and still end up making tons and tons and tons of money. So much so that they could go and blow lines every single day, light half this money on fire, and still be in the black. And it's fucking terrible to think. It is. I have not supported them for quite a fucking while now. Due to all of this, I don't want to give them any of my money because I can't. I have too much respect for this industry, for this business, for the franchises, for what that company used to stand for, to go and give them money. Vote with your wallet. That's what I've always said, but you should also always speak up. Your voice is extremely powerful. There's been tons of times that we were capable of taking one person who tells two people, that tell four people, that tells eight people, and it continues to grow, and we were able to go and move mountains on the internet alone, just by voicing what we wanted to go and say. And we're not talking about, rallying together and becoming bullies or some shit. We're telling them, hey, quit fucking up. We love you, but quit being stupid. This is tough love, if anything. But Konami is beyond redemption, in my point. For me, they are. Do I love Castlevania? I do, but Castlevania is dead. Long live Bloodstained. Do I love Silent Hill? Most definitely. One of my all-time favorite franchises. One of the reasons why I love the horror genre so much in gaming. Guess the fuck what? That shit has been dead. Silent Hills was their last chance. Can we see Kojima and Guillermo del Toro get back together with Norman Reedus at some point down the road and resurrect it as, like, Hushed Mountains or some shit? Or, you know, Quiet Plateau or some crap? I mean, there is a possibility. Whether, you know, we get into all the legalese of it, it remains... But it could happen. You never know. You never fucking know. But... yeah, I think about a company like Sega, and Sega is a strange company because they don't do anything that's just like complete dick moves to all the gamers out there. They don't do all these assholic things that just make people rant and rage and shit. No, they just don't make nearly as much as they used to. You know, the only thing I can think of that I give a shit about coming from them, at least right now, is the Yakuza games. I love them to death. My all-time favorite beat-em-up series. Legit. Even more so than like River City Ransom and Streets of Rage. I mean, I fucking love those. You know, all the Konami arcade beat-em-ups, you know, when they used to be good. Again, some top tier shit, but that series, oh my god, just, I love it to death. But outside of that, I'm like, Sega, where are your games? Please make some fucking games. You know, I know that you're releasing things here and there, but I just think about growing up with you in the Sega Genesis days. Hell, right now, my camera is currently sitting on Shadow Dancer, Ghouls and Ghosts, Ranger X, Galaxy Force 2, and Toe Jam and Earl. Oh, and Road Rash 2. I mean, because I needed this shelf, because it's... fuck off, I'm not that professional. But back then, they were releasing so many different games. The Dreamcast was their fucking swan song. That was the way that they exited the console market, which was the best way possible. All the games that they came out with whenever they were... when the original Xbox came out. Holy shit. Gun Valkyrie, Shenmue 2... I'm just like, okay, Crazy Taxi series. Whoa. We're getting another Crazy Taxi. That's all. A Panzer Dragoon and Orta. God damn, you're fucking loving everything. I can't believe this. Otogi one too. I'm like, holy fuck. Just amazing, you know? But Sega's just... they need to just buckle down. You know, they've kind of shit on the Sonic franchise, which is now a running joke. And I know that there's Sonic fans out there who'll fucking defend them tooth and nail, but come on now. Come on. Let's go and be honest with ourselves. Sonic is not what he used to be. And people will say, oh, well, I really like Generations, and I really like, Colors, and handheld games. And I'm like, yeah, that's me too. I love those games. But their bad games are as consistent as their good games. You can't do that with your franchise character. You can't. That's your company mascot. You can't. But Sega could totally redeem themselves. They just gotta really sit down, evaluate what the fuck they're gonna do, and start churning out titles left and right. They need to start bringing back some of these franchises. You know, I would love to go and see Golden Axe come back. I would like to see Streets of Rage come back. I would like to see the Phantasy Star games actually matter outside of Japan. That'd be amazing. The Shining Force games, I would like that to happen. You know, I've talked about, very candidly, about how much I fucking love Sega, and I love their games. That company has meant so much to me over the years. You know, their arcade offerings, the Master System, the Genesis / Mega Drive, the Sega Saturn. I fucking love the Sega Saturn, and nobody gave a fuck about it because, well, the PlayStation was running shit. And to me, the PS1 is still running shit. Long live PSX! I mean, so many titles here. Think about it. Die Hard Arcade? Dude, the fucking Dynamite Cop series is the shit. Plus, I love Die Hard. Die Hard 1 is fucking amazing. How about this? Fucking Fighters Mega Mix? One of the most awesome compilation of just, like, characters all coming together and beating the living crap out of each. Just fucking love that. And it was, I mean, you can be the Daytona USA, the car Hornet, the main Daytona USA car. You can be that. How many fucking games can you say that you can be a car and just beat the crap out of things? It's silly. But, you know, House of Dead, I love House of Dead. Such bad voice acting, really good soundtrack, by the way. I was talking about that on Twitter. But Sega, can they come back from it? I think so. They're just games. Give us games, that's all. We actually want to give you money. You just don't want to take it. I don't understand that. Square Enix has had a very bumpy road. Holy fuck, has Square Enix had a bumpy road. we think about Square Enix back in the 16-bit and 32-bit days, and I felt that was their peak. Especially PS1. Dude, that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the PlayStation 1 so much beyond all the other shit tons again. But Squaresoft, at the time, they were just home run, just knocking everything out of fucking park. You know, seeing that, and then seeing like what they've turned into, it's like night and day. Not to say that everything that they've done as of late has been terrible, and it seems that they're back on track. We got Final Fantasy 15 coming out, which is fucking beautiful looking. New trailer looked really good, by the way. We have the Final Fantasy 7 remake coming out. We have the new Star Ocean coming out. We have Worlds of Final Fantasy coming out. I'm like, okay, all this shit. I've even been thinking about jumping in on Final Fantasy 14 because my friends keep on badgering me to get into an MMO, so I was like, ow, I'll figure out something. So that one always just shows up in my crosshairs. I'm like, I'm hard to get into an MMO. But I think about what they did last generation. Last generation was what fucked them over in a lot of fans' eyes. It was just a train wreck the entire time. The quality wasn't there, the consistency wasn't there, the variety wasn't there, and it just seemed like they didn't care. Now, it seems to be quite the opposite. You know, now they're starting to publish indie titles, like Life is Strange. That got to be published by them. I know that there was a couple other ones, I just can't think of them off the top of my head, so I do apologize, but I think that's pretty fucking awesome that shit's happening. You know, Final Fantasy VII got put onto PlayStation 4, finally, and people just lost their minds, and I played through it. Everybody, did you watch my Let's Play of it here on YouTube? Did you? If not, you should. I did a Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII. Watch it. And I Let's Played it with my friends, so it was kind of cool. I need to do more live streams. I should do live streams on YouTube, too, for shits and giggles. But Square Enix seems to be well on their path to doing a lot better. You know, are we going to see another Einhander? Are we going to see another Secret of Mana? Are we going to see, you know, another Bushido Blade? Are we going to see another Brave Fencer Musashi? There's so many fucking games from that company that I wouldn't mind seeing. You know, I think about the Enix portion of them with Dragon Quest Heroes. That was one of my favorite games from last year. I played the shit out of Dragon Quest Heroes. If you ever caught me on the Twitch streams, I did like 3 or 4 of those. Because that's all I was playing, non-stop. You know, all the Muso games, I can't get enough of them. Dynasty Warriors, and we're getting a sequel, number 2 is coming out. Yay! Again, big old fucking smile on my face. So I feel that they're now coming back from that slump that they put themselves in. It's just, they've got a lot of, they have to prove to a lot of people because the Final Fantasy brand has definitely taken a hit. And the new titles that are coming out, people still need to be convinced. You know, their handheld offerings and their mobile offerings have been pretty damn strong. Truth be told, they've been quite strong with it, but it's the console gamers that they need to win over the most, because that's their bread and butter. That's the truth of it. That's where they made their living, and that's also where they fucked up the most. So, it's a balancing act, but time will tell. Later this year, next year, we will see where the fuck Square Enix is going to be. A company like Electronic Arts. Electronic Arts is one of those companies that they do so many corrupt and fucked up things, and then every so often they'll go and finance and publish a niche game just out of nowhere. And I'm like, look at these motherfuckers right here. But Electronic Arts, they got the Golden Poo Award how many times? You know, and they've been notorious for being a bad company. But they've come out and said within recent weeks that they don't want to be recognized as that they want to win back the fans', you know, admiration and love, and they just pretty much want to put all that shit behind them. Can they do that? Well, actions speak louder than words. Anybody can go and talk a big game, but can you back that shit up? So I would like to see Electronic Arts go and become something awesome again, because I remember fondly playing a lot of Electronic Arts games growing up, and they weren't a bad company. They really weren't. You know, I love the fuck out of them, and again, they have done good here and there. You know, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to play certain indie titles that I enjoy. Well, I can't. More underground cult classic type games. You know, when I think about Brutal Legend, I love the fuck out of Brutal Legend. Nobody was willing to go and finance that shit, but Electronic Arts was. That's a big fucking deal. You know, regardless of how I feel about Tim Schafer and all of the fucking, like, dumb politics shit that he's into, and I'm just like, man, just stick to making games, Tim. But that game was fucking amazing. It was a metalhead's dream. You know, and I still would like to see a sequel, but it just... Who the hell knows? Let's see. I'm pretty sure, what the fuck do you call it? Why am I'm totally fucking drawing a blank right now. Damn it, there's other games. I swear there's other games. I'm sorry, drawing a blank. Okay, there's other games out there. Please name them off in the comments if you want. But there's these other cult classic games that my brain right now, when I'm doing this shit off the cuff, you know, I don't mind fucking up. But anyway, I just feel that Electronic Arts, they could redeem themselves. It's just, we're gonna have to sit back and see. But out of in Activision, I'm just like, you're the company that milks things to fucking death. Ubisoft, they're a company, they get on my fucking nerves because they're willing to put out half-ass offerings, and like Activision, they will go and milk games until they no longer have any merit or value. And Activision is a horrifyingly huge company, considering that they're teamed up with Blizzard and they're just like swallowing shit. They just got MLG, Major League Gaming. Activision owns that shit now, and it's like, what the fuck? Why is there so much? Like, what? Like, Activision is like Disney. They just keep on taking shit, and it's too much. Too fucking much. And a lot of people don't like when a company becomes that huge of an enterprise. You know, that means that you're gonna end up seeing a lot of questionable quality from the company because they're just putting out lots of things to appeal to the masses instead of to actual just dedicated true to heart gamers. You know, they don't want to make anything that's unique or different. They just want to keep doing the tried and true and keep on repackaging it over and over again until the next big thing comes along. So there's that. Ubisoft, they do the same fucking thing. Ubisoft, I mean, the last thing I can think of that they were really doing, I was like, hey, that's really fucking awesome. Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins. I love those games to death. So if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have those. But outside that, I'm just like, yeah. You know, I know that they love releasing 1,000 Assassin's Creed games, and I love the fact that they want to go and push those games out as quickly as humanly possible, but they give those developers no fucking time to work on those games and work out the kinks. They're like, yeah, people will buy it anyway. You know, they'll need 1,000 patches, but who the fuck cares? They keep buying it knowing that they're broken. So what's that say about the fans? Ha 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 ha. And that's the truth. People keep on buying them despite how absolutely horribly broken they are. That's, I don't know. I know that people have had a big fucking issue with Nintendo, and I'll never say that, but Nintendo, because of the Wii U and shit, people have had issue with them, and they're, you know, a lot of people say, oh, their games are too kiddie, I don't care about that shit, moving on. And like, their games are meant for everybody. That doesn't make them childish games or kiddie, but can you win back fans that feel as if, you know, they have to be at 110% testosterone all the time, and that their manhood is being called into question because of a game that they're playing? I just think that's like insecurity to like some fucking abnormal level. But you know, what the fuck can you do? But they're lacking the third-party support. The Wii U isn't doing all that great in sales. A lot of people are sick of the fucking gimmicks, and there's plenty of franchises that they keep on ignoring. The fact that Metroid is something that we still don't have. And where the fuck is the new Legend of Zelda? You know, we're gonna get another HD remaster of another last generation Legend of Zelda game before we even get the new one, and people are getting frustrated with that. People want a true sequel to Super Mario 64. People are pissed off when they shut down Super Mario 64 HD because that didn't really hurt them at all. You know, people are mad about the whole Fatal Frame fiasco. People are mad that they keep on censoring a shitload of their games. And it's a lot of current things, but it keeps boiling to the top, and eventually something's got to give. But Nintendo, I'll give them credit. They have been pretty damn good about listening to fans whenever they need to. You know, they did bring out the Earthbound games, which I thought was pretty fucking cool. Well, Earthbound game. I'm still waiting for Earthbound 3, or Mother 3, fuck off. You already know what the hell I mean. But, it's one of those things that I just feel as though Nintendo, just keep your ear low to the ground, listen to fans. If fans want something, just give them that to them. It makes sense. It's good business. You know, also, finance a new Mega Man game. You and Capcom, you guys work well together. The Minish Cap and all that shit or not Minish Cap, Oracle Ages, more Oracle Seasons. I don't know why I said Minish Cap. But those showed you guys work very well together. But all these game companies. And there's so many more. I've heard people say the same shit about Blizzard, which technically is a part of Activision. You know, I've heard people say things about companies saying that they'll never going to buy anything from them ever again. I've heard people say it about Microsoft. I've heard them say it about Sony. You know, I've heard them say it about so many different video game developers and publishers. But the thing is, when are they beyond redemption? When will you go and forgive a company? Do you even give a shit enough to, because they're just video games? And you can just walk away and wash your hands of it and say, fuck that company. Or do you have bullet points as to what each company could do? So for all of you out there, here's your homework. What companies do you feel need to redeem themselves? What do they need to do? What are their fuck-ups? And how can they go about winning you back? For you personally. Or if you want to go and say what they could do just for everybody in general. A lot of this is all spoken from my own personal perspective and just, you know, looking at the entire industry as a whole, but figured this would be an interesting topic of discussion. Anyways, this is AlphaOmegaSin. As always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on.